All right, so you saw the Revit intro and how we do things and move things around and how important the project browser and the properties are within Revit, and how we can move around the model. I'm going to go ahead and close this and not save changes. Actually, I might save changes here. All right, I did save changes just in case I want to see that file one more time in the future. I'm going to open up the example project that Revit has. And if you don't have it appearing here, you can find it. You can find it by going to Open, then going to the C drive, Program Files, Autodesk, and then Revit 2016. There is a samples folder in here, and there's an arc-link model.rvt. There's 3 different file types in Revit. RVT is the project file, RFA is a family file, and RTE is a template file. So this is a sample project that Revit has for us to take a look at. So this sample project is a kind of like a sustainable design project, and if we take a look at the 3D view that is available, there's the total picture of what we've got. Oh, actually, it looks like it's a commercial project. It's a different one than I thought, but it still will serve the purpose. So this is what kind of a working model might look like, with all of the elements, and including topography and site information and road work. If we want to create specific 3D views, you can create 3D views. So in this project, you've got a couple of shots of the inside so that we can see what it looks like from the inside. If we set this to realistic, we're going to see the actual materials rendered on the inside, and these figures. Now, if we were to add the correct lighting, and let's turn on our sun path and our shadows, we're seeing the actual effects of the shadows on the inside of the building. It's kind of dark, so it's not very effective right now, so I'm going to turn those back off. Okay, there's a night rendering and a day rendering. If we were to render it, let's try rendering the file and see what it does as a default. Didn't really do anything. It's too dark, and I think it's because we don't have our the proper lights and everything set up, but that's all right. It gives you an idea that you can render things. If we go to some of the other views, these are just all different shots that have been taken and then named so that we can drag and drop them on sheets and things like that. If I scroll up to the floor plans, this is where we see all the very specific construction documentation of the levels. So here's our entry level 1. Notice the doors are all tagged, rooms are all labeled. We have a column grid. There are those elevation symbols, so we can add additional elevations if needed for more complicated buildings. So as a default, you get the 4. And in this particular drawing, we get a 5th one to show the courtyard elevation on the inside. And there could be a lot more depending on how many elevations are required for the building. We go to level 2, then we have the same thing going on with level 2, construction document type of views of the project, and then we have level 3. This furniture layout of O1 is a duplicate of the entry level, but it has been stripped of all of the condoc type of stuff like the column grids and things like that, so that the furniture layout could be focused on in this view. So we can do that by creating duplicate views. You just highlight a view, create a duplicate, and then you can have that view serve as a different purpose than other than what we have it for. So you might do that to create electrical layout, to create one of the other disciplines like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or in this case a furniture layout. If we go down a little bit further to our elevations, there's that courtyard elevation, there's the east elevation, north, and so on. So those are elevation views in sections. Every place that we have a section that we see in our first floor, for instance, this is a section, this is a section, I can double click on that and go to that view. And if we were to change our detail to medium detail, we zoom in on and see all the materials that are being used in the walls and the floors. That's at 1/8 of an inch equals a foot, which is kind of small, so we'd probably be using this as a building section. And then we might want to create a more detailed wall section. Here we've got a typical wall section right here. And that wall section had 1/2 an inch equals a foot. I think if I were to go through all the sections, I'll find that wall section call out in one of these views. There it is right there. So see this section through main stairs? What I was looking for is this call out right here. There's that call out, and it's saying that we need to go to sheet A2 and detail 2 to see that full wall section. And that's that full wall section that we had open just there. So that's showing you too how you can set up your project browser so it organizes some of your views in very specific ways. If we scroll all the way down to the sheets, sheet 1 shows your floor plan, sheet 2 shows sections. So you got your full section, you have the enlarged wall section, and then we've got some details which are being called out here. And so this is gives you an example of how a project would lay out this a little bit more involved than the one example project I gave you in the last video. So we will obviously be learning a lot about Revit in this class, and hopefully this just gives you an idea of how the software works.